What's up, Detroit? We are back with another episode. And I said I was excited about the last episode, but I'm really excited about this episode. It does my heart pleasure, excitement. I've known these guys for 100 years. They both were in my wedding, standing up there all proud.
Absolutely. That was awesome.
And I just want to introduce y'all. We got Mr. Young C. Mac, Corey Greer. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, bro?
It's going great. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
We're always with the fresh cut and the fresh polo.
I'm always, feel good to be in Detroit.
Right.
That's right.
You thought we was in Ann Arbor, though.
I did. I absolutely did.
Young Robbie Rob, what's up?
Yes, sir.
What's my favorite line from back in our rap days?
Oh, man, it's Robbie Rob's garage.
Right.
Baby.
In my camouflage.
In the
Robbie
camouflage,
Rob's garage.
baby. That's it.
And to paint that picture, Rob moved on the west side of Ann Arbor. He moved our senior year, and that's how we connected.
That's right.
And his brother was into music. Rob was into music. I was into music. And your parents allowed you to convert the garage to our studio.
That's absolutely right.
And when they got the house, it had like an organ in it.
It did. Yeah. Yep.
We tore that organ up.
Oh my gosh. We had to this, and it's funny too, as being older now, I think about what my parents allowed us to do.
Right.
I would never in my life. But
we won't talk those details.
You know what I mean? But I will say this, they knew where we were. We were there all the time, and we made
exactly.
It was just a wonderful time.
And they knew our heart. They
Absolutely.
knew that we weren't into any trouble.
Exactly.
We just wanted to do some music.
I got a
and have
question.
good time.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So why wouldn't you?
Well, because we made a lot of noise.
Right. At least.
The garage wasn't soundproof, is what it was.
Right.
Listen, as much as this man talk about his daughter,
Yeah.
you're lying.
He will let it. He will let it. He will allow it. And
Yeah, maybe you're probably right.
so that was, for me, senior year of high school. And for this guy, was sixth grade, Scarlett. So let me paint the picture. Now, I tell everybody I'm a hybrid. Detroit and Ann Arbor.
Absolutely.
But at the time, I went to this school, Ann Arbor. It was on my preppy side. It was my preppy season. And Corey was about the height that he is now. And I walked in, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. You cool, and I see the ladies like you. This is how we talk ever since back then. Yeah. Oh, that's good, but man, you gonna have to get rid of that pound puppy trapper keeper.
Heck yeah.
Facts all day, right? Facts all day." Bust my bubble, but I learned quick. I learned real quick.
I learned quick too. Like it was like he ain't have all the girls, but always like the prettiest one. Like,
if you gonna shoot, you might as well shoot.
like, how is this? We be on the bus going on field trips, everything. It's the prettiest girl in the whole school. Like, I want Darius.
But all that's behind me, Maze. All I want and desire is you.
Word.
So again, that's a little background of us.
Yeah,
There's other things I'm sure we'll share. But I just wanted to introduce them. They've been my homies for a long time, and they're coming on board to assist in an area that is not necessarily my specialty, even though I try to act like I know what's going on.
You
the
definitely
sports.
try to act like it.
Yeah. Especially with y'all.
dress the
Like,
part.
I Google stuff before I talk to y'all.
Indeed.
Which is sports. So for me, I'm just into the hometown, but you guys are into sports. So Corey, why don't you share a little bit of your love for sports, where it began, where it lies, etc.
That's easy. I mean, my love for sports began with my grandfather because he played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. This was all before we were born.
I didn't know that.
He was a Golden Gloves boxing champion.
Okay,
You
for
know
sure.
what I mean? So then later on, some of my cousins were wrestling champions. And,
Okay.
they played football, excelled. So it was just, it was just in me.
Right.
You
You
know what
just
I mean? And then
raised up to it.
growing up, when we grew up in that time, I mean, Michigan football was prevalent. Bo Schembechler had us on the map real
Bo
tough.
Schembechler, yes.
How
many times did they win with Schembechler? Y'all know?
I don't even know. It just seems like, you know what? That's interesting. I want to know that because it just seems as if we were always in the Rose Bowl.
Right. Was it just because he
we
beat
were.
Ohio State? Is
We
that
were.
what made him?
Yeah,
okay.
we were always in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Like always,
Yeah.
you know. And then
The Rose Bowl seemed real special back then.
It was.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
And
Is
that's
it still
that's
or
a whole
nah?
nother conversation. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
no, it's not. No, it's not
Right.
because it's not the championship. The way that
Right.
the way it's constructed now, I think what's the championship?
Orange
game?
Bowl, Sugar Bowl.
Whatever the
Yeah, it
championship
rotates.
game is.
It basically rotates between like about 4 or 5 different bowl games.
Yeah.
But it's about the national semifinal of the BCS.
But the thing that
Did it used to be though? It used to be
Yes.
just Rose Bowl?
yeah,
Yes.
that was it.
Okay.
But the thing that's still the same is that it's still well with the realignment it's going to be different, and that's going to be interesting.
Very.
What realignment? What you talking
The
about?
conference realignment.
Okay.
Because before it's like we would have played. The Pac-10 would have been like a Big Ten school and like a Pac-10 school
Yeah.
or something like
Okay.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The champion of both conferences.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
now we're all in the same freaking conference, so I don't know how that's.
Yeah,
gonna be.
yeah. What's happening is a lot of what Corey's alluding to is a lot of the schools from conferences like Pac-10 or Pac-12, some mid-majors, like Big East, things of that nature. They're starting to merge into several major conferences.
Okay.
Which is Big 10, Big 12, SEC are the big ones.
Okay.
A few of them are still staying around, but you're starting to see, and that's what he's talking about when he's talking about conference realignment. And that's going to make things look different, like you said, man. When it comes to the Rose Bowl, who's going to be there now? It's not going to be
Right.
just the Big 10 champ and the Pac-12 champ anymore. So,
Okay.
It's just not as prestigious anymore.
yeah. But there's
it's
there's a
still-
nostalgia to it. But
absolutely,
I agree with you. It's definitely not.
absolutely.
It's not on that same level as when Bo was taking us there on a regular basis every year.
And then the thing also growing up was the way college basketball was back then. You know, I rooted for us being Michigan.
Right. Because we're from Ann Arbor.
Being from Ann Arbor, I never rooted for anything Michigan State.
You can't.
It was just
It's a hard day of school that
right?
day.
It's just- right.
And they'll go down south.
That changed when I got older.
Yeah, okay. Because you wanted the confrontation.
No, well, I just because I loved Magic Johnson so much.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like every time I go to a Michigan State basketball game, I kneel in front of the Magic Johnson statue.
That's a lot. Okay.
No, that's true. That's the.
No, I said it's a lot, not a lot.
I thought you said it was a lot.
That's a lot. No, that's a lot. That's a lot. But okay.
But you're lying. But
Right.
Second greatest basketball player ever. So
Other than Darius? See, this one they won't let me on this sports segment.
so outside of Michigan, it was, and when we grew up, the time we grew up in, it was Big East basketball. The Syracuse University, the St. John's, the UConns,
I remember St. John's.
Georgetown.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
Allen
I really
Iverson,
fell in love. I mean, we had. I mean, I'm gonna date myself right now,
Right. Not me though.
but Detroit's own Derek Coleman.
Yeah.
He played for Syracuse.
Yeah.
You know what I
In
mean?
Jersey, right?
He in Jersey.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and actually, I will argue people. Yo, I would take prime. I would take prime Derek Coleman over prime Tim Duncan because they say Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward ever. Right.
Right.
I would take prime Derek Coleman,
that's
prime,
That's deep.
over any prime year.
Interesting. How long
Of
did
Tim
he play?
Duncan.
Did he play a long time?
He played a very long time,
Very
but
long time.
he just wasn't at his peak He was only at his peak for a few years.
Okay,
And then
okay.
injuries caught up with him because he's a big guy.
Right. For sure.
We talking about 6'10", 260.
And he was versatile too. People forget how
That was
versatile
the
Derek
thing. That's
Coleman
why I
was.
take him over Tim
Yeah.
Duncan because of
Right.
the versatility.
Yeah,
bro.
very
he
versatile.
he could really for real dribble
Yes,
the basketball.
yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
The thing I must say about Derek Coleman is, years before Detroit became on people's maps, he showed Detroit so much love
Absolutely. You heard his name.
in the neighborhoods.
Every-
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
you heard
he-
his name.
Absolutely.
Playgrounds,
Yeah.
and businesses, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
He was there, what Jalen Rose is now.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you, Rob? Where's the passion of sports come from, and is it
So-
centered in college or is pro or?
It started pro.
Okay.
I mean, not for me, obviously, but really basketball was my first love.
Okay.
And that really came when I first moved to California. I didn't really know a lot of people. So
Except for
basketball.
me.
Well, yeah, you know, we've been going since way before then. Baby.
Right.
But when I first got there, that was the one equalizer. I could get on the court. I wasn't great, but I could at least get on the playgrounds and I could compete with
Right.
people, and that's how I got to know people. So that's really where the love first started. And then, yeah, man, Magic Johnson. LA Lakers Showtime. Seeing a dude 6'9".
Yeah.
That was one of the flashiest players.
What year is that? What year is the Showtime and all? That's
Showtime. That was about the mid '80s.
Well, he got there in '81.
Yeah,
But
Showtime was about '85 to '88.
Well, it was pretty much when he got there.
Yeah, I guess
To
you
be
could
honest
say
with
that.
you.
That's true.
So who can name the starting five of Showtime?
Well, it
was
changed
different.
Okay.
because you have to understand,
Yeah.
like he got there in '81, right, and didn't leave until
91,
91 or something.
Kareem was
92.
there, right?
Kareem was there. So I believe that the starting lineup was Magic, Michael Cooper. Who was the 3 guard? I forgot. But then you had AC Green, and then you had Cap.
Did AC
Kareem
Green have
Abdul-Jabbar.
Jerry curl?
Yep. AC
Okay.
Green had the Jerry curl.
Ice
Remember,
Cube.
about the mid late '80s. That's when James Worthy came in. He was the
James Worthy. That was the
Worthy.
3. That was
Yeah.
the 3.
What was his position?
Small forward.
Small forward? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, James Worthy was better at North Carolina than Michael Jordan was.
Interesting.
Finals
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, no, man, big game James could play, man.
Yeah,
James,
big game,
that's what they
James.
call
He could play, bro. It was,
But you guys are talking, so I mean, I understand why you talk about LA. You from there. But what about the Bad Boys? You're around that time. Was Showtime and
It's
Bad
true.
Boys around
It
that time?
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
They
and
they sent us packing, but we
But we came back.
we put up that fight. The thing about it was that in them days, it wasn't really. I mean, Detroit was always competitive. Ever since Isaiah got there, pretty much.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They were always competitive. Even playing in the Silverdome, they may not have been as competitive, but I mean, they were really, really fun to watch.
Was Zeke first or Dumars?
Zeke was first.
Then Dumars?
Dumars came from McNeese State, I think, in '85,
About that.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Louisiana boy. But we had Kelly Tripucka, the white guy. He could just ball, put up a lot of points. We scored a lot back in those days.
Before Lambeer?
This was prior to Lambeer, but Lambeer got there around that time because I believe Lambeer played in the Silverdome as well. But what I'm trying to say is that the Pistons were always competitive, but in those days, man, listen, in the NBA, it was about 2 teams. And that was the Lakers and the Celtics.
it's true.
Oh, 100%.
And
Back to
that's
back.
it, right?
Just
And they dominated
For a while.
the 80s. And when people say
Larry Bird, Kevin McHale.
Robert Parrish,
Yeah.
Dennis
Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge.
Ainge,
Yeah.
the list goes on and on.
It was just was they kind of like a Golden State kind of team with the threes?
They for the
with
longest
the outside game?
Not really.
Not really. They were way more of an inside team.
Yeah.
They were
I
very
know Bird
physical.
could go back and forth.
Bird could do anything.
Right. right.
Nothing. And back then we used to say, we don't like. It's not that we dislike Larry Bird because he's white. No,
Right.
we dislike him because he's very, very good.
Very good. And if you're not from Boston, then you're not rooting for it.
Yeah, And then when Isaiah threw the dang old inbound pass and he stole it, that was just man. I ain't gonna never get over that ever.
Right.
But in those days, man. So the only other teams that mattered were the Sixers because they won, and then Isaiah and them.
You said they won?
The Sixers won one. They won
did.
one in the
That's
80s.
before Barkley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was
right
when
before
Dr. J was on the tail
Yeah.
end of his career.
It was
Okay.
right before.
Well,
Well, yeah. Because that's you're probably not talking about this period, but Dr. J was on Sixers, right?
He
Yes.
won with it. He
Yeah.
won. He got when Moses Malone. Moses
Yeah,
Malone,
okay.
Dr.
Yes.
J, Bobby Jones.
Morris Cheeks.
Yeah, Mo Cheeks.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. They were very competitive and they won one. But when you think about the 80s, they won one, Detroit won one, and that was it. Like all
I
the
thought
other,
we won too.
we did, but the second one was
89.
in 90.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
think about the 80s, literally, like except for 2 titles, it was between Magic and Bird.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah. Why don't we hear about Bird no more?
I mean, because it's the internet. So they want this is what the internet's job is. It's to remove what happened before, so the narrative would be their era is the greatest era.
Right. You could just create whatever.
Yeah,
and everything.
but it's like
no, I'm saying because we hear about people from that era, like Magic Johnson. We hear about so many people, but Bird was such a competitive player. But I don't hear nothing about.
well,
him.
Magic has 5 titles.
How many have Bird got?
3. But Bird also has 3 MVPs, so that's why he deserves to be talked about.
Exactly.
But the thing about it is, it's in my personal opinion, Magic is larger than life as well because of everything he's done outside of basketball.
That's where I was going to go. I think Magic and you talk about Magic and Jordan and those types, they're still relevant in so many ways for what they do outside of basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of those players never really do that. I mean, Charles Barkley, you talk about him because he's on TNT and stuff like that.
He hasn't gone away.
He hasn't really gone anywhere. Shaq hasn't gone anywhere. So on the internet, you don't hear a lot about those guys for that reason.
Man, but that's their job, bro. Like
it is.
The internet's job is to recreate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, create new content.
I'm like, see, because for them, and rightfully so, because like they'll go, oh, LeBron is the greatest ever. Well, he's been in the league 20 years. Right. This is a 17-year-old kid saying that. Right. So LeBron has literally been in the league 3 years longer than this kid's been alive. Right. So you haven't even seen Michael Jordan play.
Yeah.
You haven't even seen Kobe Bryant play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You haven't even seen Larry Bird play.
Well, I will say to that though is that I think that generationally is always going to be the case. You know, you think about, for example, during the Michael Jordan era, like for you and me, most likely, we really can't think of anybody that was better than the way Michael Jordan played, his style of play.
No, because there wasn't.
You know, however, a lot of people will tell you Dr. J in his ABA days
absolutely
was one of the most unstoppable people.
Well, so that's the evolution to me.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just making the point that when a player has dominated an era, usually that era carries the narrative.
I heard Rich Paul say in an interview, he said that LeBron was compared to Michael Jordan. He said, who was Jordan compared to? And I'm like, see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? There's the disconnect. Like, basketball started before Michael Jordan. There was basketball before Michael Jordan.
There was.
And there were great players before Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Dr. J was one of them. Everyone who is a high flyer, everyone who is electric, everyone who can command a standing ovation in the basketball arena, it started with Dr. J.
Yeah. It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we have players like Connie Hawkins, who got to the league later, who was, he was brilliant and electric as well. There were other players besides Dr. J. I don't want to shortchange anyone.
For sure.
But when they give you a nickname and it sticks, right?
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean? But I do think that it feels to me that as much content as they try to create to keep things relevant, I think there's always going to be an argument for a player like Jordan because of what they did off the court. And because so much of what he did hasn't really been done again. I mean, I give LeBron all the props in the world for getting the scoring title. That's a really hard thing to do. You know, to be relevant and score that many points for 20 years. And
absolutely. The longevity of it.
Yeah.
Factual.
But when you think about 6 titles, 6 finals MVPs,
for LeBron with me, it's not even an argument. Like, I'm sorry, like that's like a made up thing. Who's the GOAT? Like, you're not better than Michael Jordan. Like the longevity thing, you have that on lock. I get you, right?
Right.
You were fighting Kareem for that, though. You weren't fighting Michael for that, right?
Fair.
Michael, like, you have as many losses in the finals as Michael has wins.
True.
That right there, like, people could talk about, okay, well, that's all you can say about Mike is he has 6 titles. Cool, let's remove that. You have 6 NBA losses in the finals, bro. You have 6 NBA finals losses, bro.
Yeah.
You went there 6 times and lost. That alone disqualifies you from being the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about what Mike did. Let's talk about what you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for real.
Yeah.
Then let's talk about 2011, right? Because I also hear Shannon Sharp say all the time, well, who did Michael Jordan play that rivals Kevin Durant? What team did Michael Jordan play that rivals the Golden State Warriors? Well, do you want to know what Michael Jordan would have did to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks? Do you want to know what Michael Jordan would have done to Jason Terry if Jason Terry was guarding? Do you want to know what Michael Jordan would have done to J.J. Barrera? Let's talk about that for a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. And then if you remember that series, bro, LeBron was thinking up the joint, but let's not go there. Let's talk about how brilliant Dwayne Wade was playing. He was playing brilliant, bro. And then he got hurt. 2.5 games in. He got hurt like the second half of the third game of the series, right?
He did, yep.
But he had played brilliantly to the point where it was like, here, LeBron, now take us home.
Right.
And you couldn't even...
I don't know what he did. I've never seen... And to this, I don't know what happened at that point, but I agree. With that specific moment, I think is what turns most people off from even putting him in the conversation with Michael Jordan.
It's not even a conversation.
Because
It's not even-
for everybody in that situation, he would have been locked in.
But I have to give him his credit for how he performed in 2018 against the Warriors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
when
was
he
unreal.
led every team. No, he led every team in all the statistics, like in 16 or something.
Well, you remember in 15, they actually were
or
considering
15,
him for
I think.
MVP.
Yeah, 15 is when that happened.
When they
but how
lost
he
the
played with
series.
the 18 when he dropped like 51 or something,
Yeah.
51, 8,
Yep.
8.
That was-
in
that
the
was-
game.
yep.
Game one. Oh,
Yeah.
I was. It was 2 times LeBron impressed me. It was that series, and then that first year that he got with Miami, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I've never seen 2 dudes, teammates, and this is my love for Michael Jordan and everything on the line.
Right.
I never seen 2 dudes get after it defensively.
Right.
Like I saw, I'm talking about how in sync they were.
Yeah.
How in sync Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were
Agreed.
defensively, bro.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't want you to breathe, you weren't breathing.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
And it was a different kind of, in the sense that, I think they did a lot of flying around as opposed to the
man,
one-on-one.
They were everywhere.
So they were just, yeah.
They were everywhere.
But yeah, no, good stuff, man.
Good stuff,
I
man.
Appreciate,
So, yeah.
this is gonna be a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Hope to see y'all again soon, man.
Let's wrap it on up.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna slide back in because that was dope. That was great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you're gonna see a lot more of Robbie, Rob, and Corey on our sports division, Sports World, and That's What's Up Detroit. Also, That's What's Up Ann Arbor. We'll see you guys soon.